section 9.1 part B. What we're going to do here is we're going to recognize some triangles that are pretty common, and so there's a pattern to all of these, and part of this is going to come from the chart in your book, which you can copy down in a second. But first we have a 30-60 triangle, which means that we're going to have a 60 degrees and a 30 degrees in the triangle. Anytime you have a 30-60 degrees, your sides will always be 1 and square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse will always be 2. Another common right angle is a 45-45 degrees. So that means that 45 degrees and another 45 degrees are inside the triangle. And no matter what, your sides, each side will always be the same when you have 45-45. So right now we'll just say 1 and 1, and your hypotenuse will always be square root of 2. All right, now in your book, in section 9.1, you're going to find a chart that you need to copy down, and you can fill in your notes right from there. If you don't copy down that chart, you're not going to be able to do the next problem. So please make sure you pause the video and fill that in. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to find the value for x for the right triangle. And here's the diagram. You need to copy this down. We have a right triangle. We have an unknown side, a hypotenuse of 8, and a 30-degree triangle, which means we're going to use the 30-60. Now, if you look at this, here's our angle that we're looking at. We are given the side adjacent, and we are given the hypotenuse. So if you think about this, we have to decide, is this cosine, sine, or tangent? So co, which is cosine. So we're taking the cosine of 30 degrees, and that equals our adjacent, which is x, and our hypotenuse, which is 8. Now, the way we solve this is we're going to look at the chart, and we're going to look up what the cosine of 30 degrees is. And in the chart, it says the cosine of 30 degrees is the square root of 3 over 2. And we still have the equals x over 8. Now this becomes a cross multiplication problem. So we have 2 times x equals 8 times the square root of 3. Now if I want to solve for x, I just divide by 2. And I have to reduce. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Square root of 3 left over. And there's my answer. All right, now we have a triangle where we have all sorts of stuff going on. We have to find the angle measure of each one of these and the side length of each part of the triangle. They give you a few things here already, so we're going to fill in the angle for A, which is 35 degrees. And our hypotenuse says it's 16. So we're going to fill that in. What we need to come up with is angle B, so these are all in capitals, and angle C. Right away, I know that angle C is 90 degrees. So I'm going to write 90 degrees here. And to find the missing angle, remember that inside a triangle adds up to 180. So we have 90 plus 35, which is 125. If we take 180 and subtract that 125, that'll give us the leftover angle, which is 55. Okay, so already we have A, B, C done. Okay, now we're given C, so we need A and we need B. So if we start with A, we have AB in the opposite, and we're given the hypotenuse, which is 16. Now, opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So we're going to take the sine of 35 degrees, and we're going to solve for the opposite side, which in this case the letter is O. If you want to put an X there, go ahead. Now, in order to do this one, we can't look at that chart because we don't have a common triangle. If we had 30 degrees here, we could look at that chart, but we have 35. So we're going to have to do it a different way. We're going to multiply both sides by 16. So in your calculator, you're going to type 16 times sine of 35, and that will give you what the opposite side is, which is around 9.18. So 9.18 is going to be your letter A. Okay, now we need to find letter B. So we're still doing the 35 degrees. We're doing the adjacent, and it's over the hypotenuse. So so that's cosine. So cosine of 35 degrees equals adjacent, which I'm going to fill in as our x, or you can put b, don't matter, I'll put b. And then the hypotenuse, which is 16. Same thing here, we're going to multiply both sides by 16. And in your calculator, 16 times cosine of 35 degrees is around 13.11. So for the angles that we do not have a common 30-60 or 45-45, we are going to have to get some decimals here.